Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 50 of the Glory Days podcast. We are back with more of our eternal pain, torment, and suffering. It's episode 50 today, like we said, so half century, raise the bat
Bit
for
of a
us.
milestone.
We've somehow survived this long without managing to get ourselves cancelled to a massive degree.
Josh will be coming. He is late, so make sure you give him shit in the live
Absolutely. We are not impressed with Josh's performance. Apparently some things are more important than doing a podcast with the boys, so you know
Being employed is more important than doing
Exactly, but what that does mean is that we can talk as much shit about Josh as we want for the next 5 minutes, and he's not going to realise until this episode inevitably goes up. So,
we may as well.
Anything we want to get out the way, boys? I mean,
no, we may as well get.
I think his hair looks like shit.
He has a perm. He has a perm.
we may as well get.
Shorts he wears, bro.
We may as well get started. Yeah. So, Perth Glory 0. Western Sydney Wanderers 1. Round 14. It
Josh,
is now.
We've been doing this for 50 episodes now. I've had enough.
It doesn't get old, does it? Like, why does it never get any easier?
In
8.
7.
It was a 7 or 7.
2 wins in 7.
Jeez.
It was initially 2 wins in 6, and now it's 2 wins in 7.
Well, that's just great.
Don't.
Look, for all the... For all the like positive sign, and we're going to get into a lot of it today as to our problems with the current, situation, but for all the positive signs and false hope that we got fed in that really nice run where we beat a very good, Newcastle side and evidently a pretty decent MacArthur side, beat the Wanderers at home, a man down.
It's really been downhill.
To go from that and a 3-0 win against City to
3-1.
Oh, 3-1, whatever. But to go to those results to what we've had now, night and day. And I want to understand, are we not is our club not taking medication? Because obviously we're suffering from some sort of bipolar syndrome that we're obviously not dealing with properly. I would love us to get a handle
believe that we are a CIA experiment.
Well, we'll get into that later in the Q&A, and we are doing a Q&A today.
We are doing a Q&A, so...
Yeah, we got sent plenty of questions. We'll save that for the end of the episode.
We'll start off with the fan comments because...
There's a lot of those.
Oh, we got a lot of those.
Oh, yes.
And, let's just put it out the bat straight away that, people were not happy, as you'd expect. So, we'll start with Troy Irish. He said, Griff outcoached again. Has he run his race? 2 wins from our last 7, just not good enough. That's the last we see of Pennington and Osler as, quote, wingers. Season slipping away
is
quickly.
It really, though?
A positive result against Auckland next week is absolutely essential. Lachlan, call it stupid, so it is stupid, but Griff hasn't brought out the intensity of the boys for a few weeks now, and I'm not sure he can. The team has no mongrel about him. Shout out to Sam Sutton, the preseason warrior, because fuck me, is he shite since he's being back.
Well, I did say this last week, to be fair. Like, the crosses we saw in preseason compared to now, it's like, what happened?
It's different players.
I will say, I didn't think he had a horrible game against the Wanderers.
Did you say like Hamzawi?
Yes.
Jeez, that's harsh.
Look, Hamzawi was a nice guy. I'm sure he was great on FIFA.
From what Sam had in preseason to what we're seeing now, this is Hamzawi. What he was in preseason was Roberto Carlos.
Yeah,
I don't think you're really okay. Maybe it's a bit extreme, but in principle, you can't disagree with that. Sam, you got to fix up, man. We know you're a good player. Ethan, he's had a few thoughts. He started off with Wanderers had 11 shots after the 80th minute. That is pathetic from the midfield and defence. Yeah. James Merrin, rather, he couldn't find the right adjective, so he had 2. So ugly / disgusting performance. We just looked like we just didn't want to be there at all. No urgency or anything. Such a mood killer that game. Extremely boring. And that goal was very predictable. For the last 15 minutes, it was all one.
Boring. Boring.
Luke, Griffo is unfortunately not doing good enough with this squad. Here's a cracker from Jordan. My head is officially lost. I got kicked out of the shoe, so I was forced to sit at William Street Macca's to witness that shit show. Why is no one marking Fraser? We look very innocent at the moment, and Auckland will fiddle with us next week. Ban Alex from HBF after that Penno at left wing call. Okay,
before we discuss further on this, Jordan, if you are listening, my mate is the one that kicked you out. from the shoe.
Justice.
I won't obviously repeat the details of why, but brother, come on. You've got to be smarter than that, man. Seriously.
Jordan, mate, I'm sorry, but you had it coming, brother.
You did have it, Man, I got told what happened. And I was like, brother, what are you doing?
Maybe I need to be kicked out of HBF, but I tell you what, I'll be going from HBF to the shoe. You can stay at William Street.
Well,
Macca's,
actually,
mate. How about that one?
It might not happen because there have been some other suggestions because of your Pennington left wing call, but we will get to them.
Of course, yes.
So, Tom, he said, feels like the same old glory again. To be honest, I think we need a bit more of a... Sorry. I think we need a bit of a snap back to reality. Yes, we got rid of
There goes gravity.
Shut up. I was thinking about the same thing. But we are still training in public parks. Recruitment has still been poor. Behind the scenes is still a mess. And we don't have a proven coach. Ethan, those last 15 minutes were horrendous. Yep. Jamal Lowe, he's just spitting bars at this point. Shamoon, shit. Lawrence, shit. Pennington, shit. Teggett, shit. Sutton, shit.
Which Sutton?
I don't know. He's open to interpretation.
Okay.
Well, I think whichever Sutton is shit depends on the sender. Like, for example,
if it was Christos,
I think we know which Sutton he's talking about.
All things Perth glory.
Love that guy.
How many squads and coaches does this club need to go through before we realise the real issue is behind the scenes?
Oh,
I mean, we have been saying this.
No, let him cook. No, I haven't heard this take before. That's new and fresh. I've never heard
starting
this.
2026.
I've never heard this take that. Hey guys, maybe the behind the scenes management sucks ass.
Here we go. So, spoken like a true mafia boss, Pockle, he said, can we execute everyone who created the idea of Pennington on left wing? Sure.
You know what? If I am going to get publicly executed, which, maybe I do deserve at this stage.
For more things than just the Pennington thing. But
well, you know what? I think there's definitely a few things. But if that is going to be the case, can I at least be in the middle, like I'm Jesus Christ on the crucifix?
Yes.
To my right, I would like Kai Cenat, and to my left, I would like Michael Roos if possible.
Okay.
And those are my conditions.
What?
If we can make that happen, then I'm absolutely happy.
We will get on the
that.
phone to Anthony Radic and Ross Pelligra as we speak.
Absolutely.
So we'll organise that.
I don't know if we can say that. I don't know if we can threaten Michael Roos like that. I don't think that's something. Well, not we, Alex. I don't think you can say that.
Alex, he's unhinged.
We can bleep it out.
Christos, here we go. Finals definitely out of the equation. Again, Griff not good enough. Outcoached yet again.
Wait for it.
He is not the answer long term. Here we go.
Wait for it.
Sutto. So not Sutton is gone with Sutto, so now they're pals. Sutto made a great save before the goal.
Oh, yes.
But he needs to be doing better with the goal. Punch into a better area. Okay. Right.
Birighitti goes through his hands. Like, he doesn't even get a punch on the ball. It just goes straight through him.
Yeah, that's, I know.
Hologram goalkeeper.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay. We still got quite a few. So, Ryan, he said 5 points is still recoverable, but we lacked creativity out wide once again. Also, the APL need to bite the bullet and schedule the A-League into the autumn-winter because this heat is making the matches too lethargic.
I honestly wouldn't mind. I was not...
It's just the AFL, though.
I was not very happy with the fact that we had 2 drinks breaks per half. So overall, in the entirety of the game, you had 5 separate stoppages. You had 2 drinks breaks and halftime. Overall, you probably had 3 minutes for each drink break. It's about 12 minutes and then 15 for after. You had nearly about half an hour worth of breaks for about 90 minutes of football, which is crazy. To be fair.
That is
and there's someone trying to get into the room. I think we can all.
What would you think about maybe like the season ends in November?
I honestly wouldn't mind if the season ended in November. I would just prefer for the season to line up with.
Hello, Josh.
With the European schedule, because here's the thing: the only benefit I can see.
Oh, wait, what?
Holy shit!
Wait, what?
I got bit.
Why have you got a line around it?
I haven't had time.
Toby Maguire.
It keeps fucking growing. I need to go to doctors, but I haven't had time.
So he's prioritised
putting a
the
barrier
podcast.
around it.
Oh, yes.
He's prioritised the podcast.
If I draw on it, it will stop spreading.
What spider was it?
I don't know.
The one that did Spider-Man, probably.
Up there.
Oh, it's that red back there.
Yeah.
So, but just on that calendar point.
Well, here's the thing, right? Is that I don't see the benefit of having a separate calendar in the summer to the actual, European schedule.
Every I think basically all the teams or countries in Asia have aligned with Europe. So like Korea,
Japan has just done it. And the MLS is doing it next season.
Yeah,
so why are we not following the curve?
The AFL and the rugby.
No, exactly. The AFL and the rugby guys. But here's the thing: is that
no, you have to understand the AFL mafia, right?
No, I know
so
that.
serious.
I know
I'm
that.
being so
No,
serious.
I know that.
I like my footy, but
Can I just say did anyone see that report that came out saying that the AFL was using taxpayer-funded money to launch a new program to try and grow the AFL in India?
We already
they have
know.
they have the CEO of the AFL going over to India to try and grow the game, but we can't get grassroots funding.
Well, we already know they can't afford to play more than 26 games a season. So are you proposing that we start the season in line with the Premier League in August? Or
I'm saying that you probably start the season in line with the Premier League in August, and then you wrap up the season probably
April?
I
Or
know
That's very similar.
I know
to what we
footy's
already-
on.
No. I'm not saying I'm saying you start it in the winter and you try and wrap it up by November, December.
I feel like we get bigger crowds because when it's raining, there's less to do, right?
I get that, but at the same time,
And also, like, football's a winter sport.
it is.
100%.
I think there's more genuine interest around the game during the actual season. I guess the big problem is if you do host it during the actual footballing season, the day games you get less crowds. I guess you have to host the games later, which doesn't help.
But also as well, like when I went to the UK, all the stadiums are built for winter. Like literally the whole.
Because you're that close to the action when you're
because you're so close to it, and as well you've got cover the whole way around the stadium.
Exactly.
If you go HBF Park and you're sitting, like,
just gonna get
if
pissed
you're
off.
out in front of the shed,
It's terrible.
You're gonna
Do you remember that
pissed
one
on,
game in the
so-
summer where no matter where we used to get, the rain's just catapulting on us?
We finally get on the cover and then the wind's just like
It's like
Standard
it's ridiculous.
Oh my god! When I went in January to watch the Hibs game, I
Yeah.
was freezing, bro. Like when I couldn't stand it. It was so cold. Like you literally can't move. You're like,
Yeah, no,
so-
I know
sorry,
that.
off topic.
No, you're right.
It's fine.
It's good because it'll lead in nicely later on to the Q&A because we did
We're
have
signing Martin Boyle. Sorry, what?
standard disguise. Daniel Del Borello. So
Hi, Daniel.
he said defensively the back four was solid, no question, but in midfield and the attacking third we offered very little spark or creativity. We're not taking the few chances we do create, and most of the time it's just half chances rather than genuine opportunities. Daniel, he said, fair to say the Griffo bounce is well and truly over.
Yep.
Even in the first half, we were sitting back, absorbing pressure, hanging on for dear life after Ryan Fraser came on. Side note, Ryan Warner conceded an absolute howler playing out from the back in the NPL Night Series.
Well, good thing I wasn't at that game and I can't confirm that. So that
Finn probably can.
Well, Finn didn't say anything, so
didn't.
I'm gonna just pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah. Daniel Fieldgate, he said, no width, in brackets, please no more Penno and Osler. No connection between the lines, slow ball movement, poor decision making, and a complete lack of intensity. This wasn't just a bad day. I feel it was a standards issue. Time for Griff to show what he's got because he's been out-coached 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
Muller,
100%.
Caltac and Matt Sutton were immense. The rest had biblical stinkers. Puzzling, we put out the same first 11 after that trash against the Raw. Griff can stay or go, but this overall predicament lies with decisions made by the board and owners. No more Pennington at left wing. Free Amos. And then finally from Nick, so he's posed the question to the panel.
Okay.
How do you think we've fixed this? New manager, new players, stick with Griff and give him a pre-season and transfer window. What's the best way to go about it? Starting with Will.
I think we've honestly tried everything listed there to some extent, right? We had new ownership. That didn't go great because they had played mates games with Dave for a couple of seasons. We did a squad overhaul. That didn't work because now we actually have a very good squad, and yet we're still struggling to even make the top 6, even with a new manager. We tried this new manager swap. That didn't go well because we couldn't find anybody willing to take the job, so we ended up with our assistant. So we have actually basically tried everything in the book. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think we're such a strange market. It's really hard to do what you want based on the budgets that we have.
Well,
right?
the problem is, right, you're investing in a coach who hasn't really proved himself as a head coach.
Again.
So this is what we were saying before. When you get if let's say we brought in Graham Arnold and we were where we were, you go, look, performances have improved, but then you give him time. You can give him next season because he's a proven coach to rebuild. But now there's question marks when it comes to Griffiths. Is it we experienced a bounce back because it's not Dave, or is it Griffiths is a good coach?
I think it's a bit of both. I think Griffiths is a better coach than Dave.
But is he that coach to get us to the top?
I'm beginning to wonder because because you're seeing the gaps. You just got beaten by bottom of the table. I understand they had their new import who looks fantastic, by the way. We'll get to that later on. But you do have to ask the question, is he the right man to lead us forward? so far, based on the last month of football I've watched.
I would say 2 months.
Last 2 months for sure. Yeah. You just have to kind of question it and go, maybe not. And that's not a dig at him. It's just a hard truth. This is not the A-League is not a piss take league, right? You can't just get by.
Yeah.
You need to know the league. You need to know how to win in this league.
You need all components firing to
correct.
So you can't just rely
have
on one to perform.
In some leagues, you can win with goals, right?
Yeah.
I think, like, for example, with Arsenal, their whole thing, they have one particular tactic they go for, which is defend their asses off and then score from the set piece.
Yeah.
That's enough and I'm not saying the Premier League is easy to win, but they're so talented and so skilled at that one particular thing, it's good enough. In this league, everything is so well balanced that you have to be well balanced at everything. You can't just be really good at one thing and then not good at the other, because then another team will be better at you than the other thing, because you need to have the balance of good defense and good attack. You can't have one better than the other, because you can't just win by scoring 6, because then the other team might score
7.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's this league. And I think people who come in with the mentality that if you really focus on this one key thing, then you'll win the league. Not true.
Personally, I know people aren't going to like this, but if we gave the amount of backing we did to Dave, I don't have a problem giving it to Griff.
Mm-hmm.
I know the results haven't been fantastic recently, but even still, how many players... We're going to have, this is a rebuild season, right? We're going to have most of our players next season. So I don't think having that many managerial changes is a good thing.
The thing is, I feel like, especially in the modern game now, the best value or the best indicator you can get of how good a coach really is how adaptable they are.
Yes,
especially nowadays.
Which was the big
with
thing
how many different styles of play, with how many different approaches there are based on which team you play, based on which league you're coaching in, based on the players that you have and the players that you're going up against. You need to be adaptable. And this was the thing we said about Zrilic, is that our biggest problem with Zrilic is if his whole approach was, if plan A doesn't work, you try plan A again. That was his plan B. And with Griffiths, what we've seen is that he actually has good approaches to a game. He has a good style of football that we can build off of, but only when a team is up against us and is actually actively going to try and attack the game. When we go up against football. Exactly, but when we go up against these teams, that are willing to sit back, try and soak up the pressure and hold majority of the possession, well, then we can't do anything, especially because, and this is a big issue of mine, he hasn't experimented with the formation at all. And I can point several games that we've lost in the last few weeks where I can say specifically that we lost those games because we got so outmanned in the midfield. Not because Bozanovsky, Diabreu, Franey are bad midfielders per se, but just having the extra man in the midfield, even if they aren't that high of quality compared to the midfielders that we have, makes such a big difference, especially in a transitional sense.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And then Joshua, you had to have a point, was that right?
Oh, I was just saying you've also got to consider it's not like Griffiths inherited much. Like, he's had to essentially revamp everything.
This is not a dig at Griffo at any point.
I think with Griffith, what is indisputable is that he has raised the competitive floor of the team.
Yes.
So therefore,
in fact, we're having conversations about this.
He deserved the job to the end of the season,
absolutely,
beyond any reasonable doubt. There was no problem with that.
Correct.
Problem is that he's answered questions that Driller couldn't answer from a defensive perspective.
Yep.
And so while it hasn't been elite defensively, so to speak, with our numbers in our performances, we're at least not completely terrible and we're not getting blown out.
Hence, like 100%. I said a few podcasts ago, we can compete with anyone in the league.
Absolutely.
And stay in a game. And we're not going to win per se, but we'll stay in it to a 1 or 2 goal, that one, every game's been at least gettable.
But this is probably the best squad that we've had post Popovic.
Oh, 100%.
Look, of course, we've not had all of our heavy hitters consistently available. We've not had our main wingers consistently available.
Yep.
We've had Tags and Lawrence. Tags and Lawrence out for different portions of the season. We've had only Sam Sutton come in the last month. So that has to be factored in. But
you got to remember, I don't think Griffiths, these are all the players that Griffiths would have wanted to play his system.
That is true.
Yes. Too many midfielders.
But the thing is as well is that, other teams have been able to have success without having their heavy hitters.
Yeah.
As a recent example, Brisbane came to Perth off the back of a pretty shitty run of form. They didn't have their coach, didn't have Jay O'Shea, didn't have quite a few good players, and they found a way to win.
That's the thing.
And with Griff, even though he hasn't inherited, a complete Rolls Royce, it's at least something that's far more functional.
It's a Commodore.
If you're looking at the table, let's say, as a measure of progress, and it's 10th. It's like,
but I'd still say Brisbane had more squad balance.
They had decent balance, but even in parts, you look at, for example, another squad, Melbourne City. I know they haven't had the best A-League form. Obviously, they've had some, drop-offs in their performances in the league. Yeah. But you look at how they're performing in Asia with the squad that they have. They've had Supriyan out for most of the season. Rashani, their big import, out for majority of the season. Yeah. Lecky has been out. You've had several key players that have been out for very long periods of time, yet they've somehow been able to balance a very heavy Asia/A-League schedule. They're not performing as well as they did last season, but it's a very heavy schedule.
Let's pivot the conversation to, we've established that Griff has raised the floor of the team.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But can he raise the ceiling of the team? With the particular point in that he's only got until the end of the season to prove that. So it's not like he's coming in with a 2 or 3 year deal straight away. If it was a 2 or 3 year deal straight away,
we've seen before.
But the point is that we can allow for a bit of him to find his feet a little bit. But there's some teething issues. Yeah. Yes. Now he needs to act.
I don't think we'll make any more signings, right?
I think it's unlikely with where things are at with the squad.
Yeah. Personally, I think he has another 4 weeks to determine whether he has another contract.
I don't think finals is possible now.
No, it is for sure.
I think. Well, look. And then we'll touch on.
You look at the teams we're competing with for finals though. Like Victory's now coming into their form now. They're in 7th. City's now in 8th.
No, just to give a little bit more perspective, and then we'll touch on the Wanderers game. We're currently 10th with 16 points.
Yep.
In the top 6 as we speak right now, Auckland and Newcastle have got a pretty significant buffer against us.
Yep.
Macarthur, they've played 15 games. They're on 23 points. Yep. Sydney are on 22 points. They're on 13 games. Adelaide, 14 games, 22 points. Brisbane, 15, 21 points. And then you've also got Melbourne Victory of a game in hand along with Wellington.
Yep.
So we're going to need to get on a run again.
Yep.
And it's not like we've got easy games that are coming up.
No.
We've also got that block of games 4 in a row that are away from home. Yep. So I think we'll pivot the Griff discussion for now. We'll jump on to the Wanderers game. So look, round 14, 1-0 loss to Western Sydney away from home. Boom. Crap conditions to start off with. Obviously the game was delayed by 2 hours, so fair play to everyone that was at the game.
I watched most of it on my phone.
Yeah.
Because it was at the Scorchers. They were actually a competent Perth team.
Bro, Scorchers, Glory, and Demonor were all on at the same time. Actual nightmares. And I had the Australian Open on my TV. I had the Glory on my iPad, and then I had the Scorchers on my phone.
And the Wildcats had just finished before all the games
started. I know as well. I know. Crazy.
So, around the panel, Josh, we'll get your thoughts to begin with. What did you think of the game?
Firstly, why is it so hot in Sydney? I looked at the forecast at the time we played, and it was 37 degrees. And I know it wasn't humid, I don't want to look like that fan. But personally, if they're having 4 drinks breaks, I don't think it should have necessarily been played. But hey, strong opinion.
The thing is, as well, is that
okay, that's fine. Alex, just
no,
go on. Sorry, I feel bad.
No, keep going.
No, you need to put him in his place.
Put him in his place. Shut away. All right, so keep going. So anyway,
but then again, you can't have that blame it on the heat because
it didn't affect Western Sydney.
It didn't affect Western Sydney. Yeah, that's 100%. What I was going to say.
And then we would have been training in the heat as well, no?
Yeah.
But the whole thing is that we can play in the heat.
Perth.
That's what I'm saying. Our whole thing is supposed to be we can do that.
It was 22 degrees today, and in Melbourne it was 46.
I know. Yeah. It's back to front. I don't know what's going on.
Anyway, regardless, if Griff was looking at it, I know he'd be like, "Oh, we could have won that game," because Tags had two great opportunities. I know people are going to be annoyed at Tags, but that first opportunity, I thought
the one at Lawrence.
The ball in from
Lawrence Thomas.
Beautiful.
Yeah, what a ball by Lawrence. Yeah. And people were like, I know people were shaming Lawrence, saying he didn't have the best game.
He had a good game.
I thought he had a really good game
for the situation he was in. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, that's probably his first super hot game ever.
Probably, yeah.
Obviously being
that was a beautiful pass.
I actually genuinely think he had quite a good game. He was one of my better players for me.
Maybe Tags, he probably should have just not skied it, but just
put your foot through it, man.
Yeah. But even still, it was a great save by Lawrence Thomas.
Yeah, and then
it is a tongue twister.
And then there was that second one.
But yeah, we could have easily scored a couple, but this is another one of those situations where it's like, we could have easily scored a couple, but the results are what's more important,
I think. I think for me, our attacking profile is so fragile that it's almost like when we do create those good chances, which we're capable of doing, you're sort of thinking, shit, when's the next one going to come?
Yep.
Because we don't consistently create the right conditions for those chances to begin with. We don't create that opportunity for tags, let's say, 2 or 3 or 4 times a game, which is what you need to do for your striker.
Yep.
So I thought the way that we approached the game, I want to, again, I'm going to sound like a broken record. I want to see Griff experiment more with the ball. And I know they were saying on commentary that he was consistently saying to the players, you know, you've got to keep the ball better. You know, in this heat, we can't be chasing arse all day. And that's what ended up happening. And then lo and behold, after the 60th minute, that's when Wanderers started building more momentum. I don't really think we created that much of a clear-cut chance afterwards.
No, we didn't. It was just to sit back and hope they don't score kind of beat.
Yeah, and it was, as many people said after the game, it was like watching Driller ball. In terms of how of like how lost the team looked and how we were pinned back. If it wasn't for, you know, Matt Sutton pulling off some extraordinary saves, Woots making some blocks, Brian Kaltak making the best several
best on ground
clearances
between both teams too, besides Fraser, I guess. But
I think for me, I was like, we've just made trying to make the finals this season all the more difficult. And if anything, it's not like the conclusion is Griffiths isn't the man. But as I was sort of putting in the chat afterwards,
the question is he?
It is now a very loud question that I think eventually is going to have to be answered at some point.
And now he's got a lot of pressure to beat Auckland.
Big pressure. So, Alex, your thoughts on the game to begin?
Look, are we going to touch on Griffiths now, or are we going to do this at a later time?
Do it at the end of the game. Yeah.
Just throughout the whole game, it was just very, very poor. Like, we had those spells where we'd look like we might get something out of it, and then we just get nothing out of it. And I'm sorry, Adam Taggart, there's something going on here. Like, I understand he did well to score it.
Shit from Will in a second.
Look, I'm sorry. He did well to take his goal last week against Brisbane.
Yep.
The 1v1 miss, 2 big misses today, and a serious issue with me that not a lot of people I saw picked up on, but this was one thing that seriously irritated me. There was a chance we had in the second half, I think maybe around like the 60th, 65th minute, where we were pushing several people forward. We had Tags up top, we had Lawrence and Bozza running through, and then we had Oster and Pennington all running forward as well. We essentially had a 4v2.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The ball gets played to Taggart, acres of space. If he turns, he has 2 through runners with his wingers, and then he has centre mids coming to support him. What he does is he then plays a first-time bounce pass backwards, which he then cooks and then kills the counter-attack with that pass. I was so incredibly fucking frustrated with that. Not because he's playing off the pass looking to make the run. Fair enough, whatever. In that situation, this man is 32 years of age. He has been a top A-League striker for over a decade now.
Yeah.
Experienced player in Asia. Former Socceroo.
Yep.
He didn't check his shoulder to see that he had about 7 or 8 meters of space behind him between him and the Wanderers centre-backs. If he takes that ball and turns, maybe they come and press him, lay the ball off then. Or maybe he's able to play it through. Or maybe they press him and I'm just an idiot, right? Yeah. But from what I saw, okay, and I don't think people can knock me for this. What I saw is him receive the ball and hit a first-time bounce pass, which he then cooked by not putting it directly to Lawrence's feet, which then killed our counter-attack because Wanderers had time to get players like Shikuluna back to cover the counter. And eventually, we just ended up cooking the chance.
Yep.
So when you see your star striker doing stuff like that, and with all the talk of the 3 million hard cap, I know there's a lot of, speculation as to, can we keep both Lawrence and Taggart? In recent weeks, if I'm looking at keeping either of them, what reason is there for me to look at Adam Taggart and say, yeah, I want to keep him over Tom Lawrence? If there's a situation or a world where we can keep both, absolutely I'd want to keep both. Purely just because I don't think we can attract an Australian striker right now or a visa striker right now that's going to give us as good an output as Adam Taggart. But we've seen it this season. His attitude looks off. We've never seen...
I wouldn't
No. Hold on. He looks depressed at times when he plays. He looks frustrated. He looks
frustrated.
And I agree also that it was probably because he was dealing with a serious goal drought. But we've also seen in recent weeks, he's had some really bad misses. I know that it was a good save from Lawrence Thomas. That shot was shit. He P-rolled it straight to the keeper. Good positioning from Thomas, yes, but he didn't even challenge him in that. The 1v1 miss last week against Brisbane, really bad. He's had several games this week where he hasn't been able to put away his his half chances. He's accumulated several XG that he hasn't been able to capitalize on. And now we're getting him service through players like Tom Lawrence. Yeah. And I understand that Collar has just come back. Kaczarski's been out for a while. He's getting service.
Slowly getting back
slowly coming back. And so he's been getting service from the likes of Pennington and Osler. Yep. But it's not good enough. It's really not good enough for a star striker at this stage. I love Adam Taggart. He is a Glory hero. He's always going to be one of my favorite Glory players. I just don't think he's been good enough. Really, I just don't think it's good enough from him.
Yeah, but I think it's just a rough patch, to be honest.
But there's a rough patch, and then there's 13 games worth or 14 games worth of him being below par. You know what I mean?
I think, but it's not like it's suddenly happened this season. He has been on the decline since Driller's first season.
I agree.
There's no question about it, but I think, Will, you're keen to interject? You're about to cop the same treatment that Josh and I did, but here we go.
I think he started to decline after those 2 goals he scored against Adelaide last season away, Driller season.
I just think his age is catching up to him. So that has to be a valid point in any discussion when you're talking about his striker.
I know, but he's only 32. Like
I know, but his game is different. His game is different to someone like Fornaroli.
It depends on the player, really.
Yeah, but it depends. Like I can understand he'll slow down a bit speed wise, but you don't.
That's another thing as well.
If we measured his shooting and his quality of his shots and his ability to put those shots away, yes, you can look at one side of it and go, as we agreed on a couple of weeks ago, the supply hasn't been as good. He wasn't getting as found as regularly as he was under Stadge these past few seasons.
But I wouldn't say he's the type of striker to rely on pace.
No. But that's the thing, is that he has been able to rely on pace when he's needed it. Yes, he's a great fox in the box finisher, but even under Stadgic, when we had opportunities where we were able to play him in behind, for a matter of fact, he's getting to that ball first and he's getting a good one-on-one chance against the keeper. Look at how many chances in recent weeks where he's getting sent in behind. That Taggart 1 season ago, 2 seasons ago, he's getting there and getting a shot off every single time, but he's losing 1v1 foot races.
To that Brisbane game as well.
The Dimitri Valkanis one, where he gets outpaced by Dimitri Valkanis, who started about 2 meters behind him. That is not the Taggart we used to know.
But again, I think he has lost the yard of pace. He can be a good finisher, but I also think his finishing the past 12 to 18 months, it's a little bit more than just randomness, him missing these chances. I think again, it's probably him getting on. He's not in his prime anymore. So look, obviously he's getting on, and the point that I made about Fornaroli was more so about the kind of game that they both play. Is like Fornaroli's game was about, you pin him back and you roll and you look to link up with the players close by to you. But could there also be a potential scenario where is the current attacking system getting the most out of any attacking player, aside from Tom Lawrence?
I don't know, just real quick, sorry, Will, I know you want to speak. I don't know if you guys remember when we first signed Tags, when we had him for that January to the end of the season.
Under Zads.
Do you remember, he looked a bit like it, but I know it's pre-season. Do you remember the West Ham game he played?
Yes.
Yeah.
He looked very rusty, and he was he looked very similar to how he is now. And even when he first joined in January, he just doesn't look quite as energetic. But I don't know if I can put it down to age or it's.
I don't know if we can necessarily read too much into that, just given that it was West Ham in pre-season under a new manager. But even compare that to now, where we're halfway through a league season. It's very concerning.
That's the thing. I was saying it's like a hard comparison, but even January, I don't know if you remember, the January when he first came in, everyone was saying he looked a little bit rusty.
Yeah, but I think it was because it was at the time he had a few months off football because the Japanese season had finished for a few months. Will, I know you're dying to get a point in, so let it rip, mate.
Right. I just want to reiterate this point to
Fuck you.
And you.
What are you pointing at me for?
Because, listen, and you'll know, when you play for such an awful manager. David's really sure. No. I genuinely think it's a confidence thing. You can argue.
That would have to be playing a part, yeah.
Yeah, you can argue about the age. That's fine. Everyone knows the older you get in football, the more you lose some of your abilities. Yeah. Has he lost a bit of his pace? Absolutely. But getting outpaced by Valkanis when you had to start on him, that's not great, right? Yeah. So that's obviously an issue in terms of he's not being able to play in behind as much as he used to. That's fine, right? But we're also forgetting maybe not forgetting, but he has got 2 in his last 3. So it's not like he's not putting the ball in the back of the net. Like he had that goal drought, but he's now got 2 in his past 3 games. He has had a couple of really good chances he should have scored. I'm not saying that that's an excuse, right?
Oh, 100%.
But
I'd say in the past few weeks he's in slightly better form.
Give the man some time.
Exactly.
Like he's been playing under some of the worst tactics I've ever seen for about a year and a half, right? And he wasn't getting the service. He wasn't getting any decent chances.
Yep.
He's a Perth boy who was trying to have a really good end to his career in Perth.
Yeah.
That was delayed for 2 seasons, basically, with absolute just the
Crap.
worst football ever.
Yeah.
And now he's just starting to find his feet again. He just had that injury, which he's come back from. He's come back from his injury, and he started to play better again. He's building, right? You could argue he should have at least 3 goals. Maybe he should have scored that one against Brisbane for a second or the one against the Wanderers, right? I understand that maybe he's not doing some of the basics right, but again, he's getting on a little bit, so he's I think he's more feasible. I think the problem is that his lack of confidence because he's had a bit of a drought. He's trying. It looks like to me
trying too hard.
Too hard. He's trying too hard to get his confidence back and get back to the old Adam Taggart to which most people are expecting to see. Hence why he's more focused on trying to make the run in behind, pass back, and then run. Instead of checking his shoulder and looking for the assist, he's much more focused on trying to score the goal himself.
And again, I'll just come back to that initial point I made about the Wanderers game. Because they're attack under Griff, the profile itself is so fragile because there is a volume issue.
Yeah.
Then it is in part fair to go, well, how many chances is Tags getting a game? How many good chances is Tags getting a game? How many good chances are the likes of Pennington getting a game, Osler getting a game, Lawrence getting a game that are inside the box, clear-cut chances from our forwards?
Well, there was... So we can get onto it at some point, but there was a chance, I can't remember what minute it was, where Pennington had 3 options and he started to just keep running and running.
No, that was bad.
And running, and then he lost the ball.
Yeah.
So, like, that's not even a tactics thing. That's a great chance, and it's just a dumbass decision.
So,
look, I understand that Tags is very clearly low on confidence as compared to where he was about 2 years ago.
And I don't blame him.
However, we're halfway through the league season. We've got 12 games to go.
Yep.
We're now 5 points off finals. Ahead of us, we've got Wellington. We've got City, who have just made the signings of Arzani, Teague, and Eunice.
Yep.
And Harrison Delbridge.
Yep.
You've got Victory, who are just starting to really hit good form.
We've got Tilio as well.
Hey?
No, they didn't get Tilio.
Oh.
They're just starting to hit really good form, the Victory. Mata is currently probably the best player in the A-League.
3 assists.
3 assists against Sydney.
Which is just so dumb. I can't believe the Wanderers decided to play. Oh,
But let me just add to that, right? Yeah. Next week, at home, we've got top of the table Auckland, who, to be fair, in the entire existence of Auckland FC Football Club, this is the best time to play them. Yeah, in their last 5 games, they've won once. They've drawn twice, lost twice, and won once.
But that's awesome.
This is the best time to play them. But can we honestly sit here and say that we're happy to go into it with an out-of-form, I won't say deadly out-of-form Adam Taggart, but an Adam Taggart that in recent weeks, however, has not shown us the levels that he needs.
Yeah.
When we've
2
got
goals.
Listen, we've got Kucharski coming back from injury, who looked decent off the bench. You've got Suleimani, who was starting to look really good. Let him land. You've got Suleimani, who was starting to look really good before we then took him out, and he hasn't been getting game time. Kucharski's coming back in now. Wales is coming back in now soon. Despo has just come back from injury.
Yep.
How long are we going to sit here and say, oh, don't worry, guys, we can keep him at striker because it's Adam Taggart. He'll get his confidence eventually.
The rest of the season because it's Adam Taggart.
No, but we can't keep making this argument of, oh, it's Adam Taggart when we've got we've got other options. If our other option was Adam Taggart or G Popovich or bust, I would understand because you don't have a player who's willing to who's able to play full 90.
You've got to remember he's on one of the highest salaries in the team. You can't just.
But if your high salary players are not performing, are you just going to stick it out with them because they're high salary players?
I understand, but if he's on the highest salary, you've got to keep playing him because you don't want him to go out of form. Like you want to do as much as you can to get him back in form.
But it should be that the team is selected based on merit. I mean, like we can always we can go as far back. I know it wasn't a popular call at the time, but how many times did Tony Popovich bench Andy Keogh?
A lot.
So it shouldn't be that Tags is untouchable.
No, he's
not. But there should also be, and he of course he'd know this.
Captain as well.
Yeah, but he also would have to understand that, and again he knows this. He's got to start finding the back of the net more consistently. But then he can also go, well, hold on, Griff. This system is not the way that we're playing. We're not really. No one's scoring a lot of goals.
That's what I'm saying. So like, yeah, that's obviously a point. It's not a good one, but it is a point.
Yeah.
JK's coming back, right? So you're telling me you'd rather consider swapping him for JK instead of putting JK where Trent or Pennington is.
If you're getting JK and Wales and Collar and Despo back at the same time, I would genuinely consider putting JK up top if it can fit Wales or Despo or Collar into that starting lineup.
But the last point on Tags, and then we've got to touch on the game, but would you consider giving Tags a few goes with, in theory, our best front line on paper? To give him more support rather than Osler and Pennington, where even the viewers have said, well, their output as specifically wingers is mediocre at best. And that's no offense to them, but they're not wingers.
My problem is that Taggart has had several games this season where he has had good service and hasn't found the back of the net. Yes, he scored 2 goals in his past 3. Okay, I understand that. But when you look at it, all right, how many of these games are we seeing we're saying, oh, we don't have our best front 4, but Adam Taggart is still getting 1 or 2 really good chances a game. Brisbane, sure. You know, no one really gave great service to anyone. But Tag still had 2 1v1s. He scored 1 and then he missed an absolute howler. You have that game against the Wanderers. A really good ball in behind to find him from Tom Lawrence. Perfectly timed run, but the finish wasn't there. So how many times are we going to... And listen, I understand that our options aren't the best. It's either play Kucharski up there when instead he probably is better on the wing, or you play Suleimani who's still young. But my argument is, how many games are we going to honestly sit here when finals...
of course.
We're at risk of losing finals. A serious risk of missing finals football.
You've got to remember with Tags as well, we know he had a pre-existing groin injury, then he injured his groin. We don't know how long he's had, we don't know how long he's had that for, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I know for a lot of players after they injure themselves, I know he's back to full fitness now, you could say.
It's only been a recent thing.
He's still probably got the thought of that in the back of his head. It takes a while to mentally play at 100%.
That is a fair point. I just want to add one more thing. That is an absolutely fair point. But I will say, we did then bench him for 2 to 3 weeks. He then came back and started looking really good again with his movement. Even if he wasn't scoring goals, he was impacting the game really, really well when he came back. And Suleimani was getting crucial minutes, got an assist, a really nicely worked assist, was creating really well, missed a couple of 1v1s, sure.
Yeah, of course, but just to end, because we do have to get onto the game, but just as a final point, I think it's going to, because we will have to talk about Griff, I think there are more issues in relation to how we attack rather than just Tags, even though
there's so much more than Adam Taggart to worry
about. We'll just get onto the game. So were we happy with the fact that the lineup was unchanged, the starting 11? Were we happy with it or not?
No.
Josh?
Pennington at left wing again.
No, but I mean, who else did we have who could
that
start?
was fit and available, and ready to start. I think I wasn't happy with the lineup, and again, I'd love to see Griff experiment with how we are on the ball.
Pennington's at left wing again next game. I
mean, I want to know what happened to Amos and Wales.
Well, my understanding is Amos didn't travel. And Wales, my guess would be, because we were told it wasn't necessarily he was guaranteed to get back into the team against Western Sydney, but you'd have to think.
But I feel both of them would at least travel Amos when you're playing against a midfield with Thurgate and
potentially. But I think to get on to the game, I thought Gary Van Egmond, he played his cards really well. So he changed the shape, 3-man midfield. Not for the first time, Glory have been fiddled about when a team has gone with 3 in midfield. So to give an example, Sydney and Adelaide, they always found the overload. Angus Thurgate was always in space. Aidan Hammond, especially in the first part of the first half, was always found in space and always isolated. Western Sydney could change the tempo of the game really well, I felt, with their centre-backs, because they could break the lines pretty easily and then they'd go.
Yeah.
Our players, and even just watch back parts of the first half, at times you'll see Kaltak, Matt Sutton, and Scotty Wooden basically as a 3, and they kind of just ping the ball amongst themselves, waiting for an opening. They could go short, but there were lots of times I felt in the first half where Kaltak was like, fuck, nothing's on. I've got to ping it long to Osler, hope he can win a 50-50 header, which sometimes he can and sometimes he doesn't. And we're relying on the second ball, and then because Western Sydney have that overload in midfield, they were then able to just keep possession, keep momentum, keep us chasing, and keep creating chances, which I thought they did quite well. Thurgate, he had that deflected chance. Simmons had a volley over the bar. I'll call out Pennington on that one, because I thought if you watch it back, he came in like a kamikaze when he probably should have looked to stay at the edge of the box. I think he probably thought he was a centre midfielder for a second there. Yeah. But you had Diabriou and close attendance of whoever it was in the box. But Pennington left Simmons at the top of the box. Yeah. Simmons volleyed over. We spoke about the Taggart chance. Lawrence had a free kick that was saved by Thomas.
Good free kick.
Yeah, it was a good free kick. Borello, he had that opportunity that he sent into row triple Z.
Stinker. Was that not deflected?
No.
I thought he went out for a corner.
I thought he just went over.
I think it was deflected out for a corner, I'm pretty sure.
I think
Happy to be corrected.
I think it might have been.
Happy to be corrected.
I don't know if it actually was deflected, but it was given.
It doesn't really matter.
He was off target regardless.
Just skied it, I swear.
I do remember that thinking that wasn't deflected, but then the corner happened straight after, so I think maybe a little.
Pennington's chance, the one time we moved the ball well through the thirds in the first half, where we built out from the back and we had some good quick combinations. Osler, I thought it was a bit of an odd decision for him at the time to chip the ball over to Tags rather than play Pennington through in behind, but it kind of worked out.
Yeah, it worked out.
Got to Tags, scooped it over to Pennington. An attacker probably scores that, if we're being honest. I know it was a bit of a tricky shot, but if you're more of an attacker that knows how to do well,
but you can't. I don't think it's really fair to Pennington for that.
It was a good save, but it's like, again, because of the fragility of our attack, it's like, well, now you've got to score a chance that is really kind of a half chance, not really a clear-cut chance.
Yeah.
Taggart had a volley over the bar from the corner. Yep. And then as I wrote down, 60th minute, that's when it started to change.
Yeah. The last half hour was just
that was dog shit. From what the boys can do, that was just dog shit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about playing Despo on the wing anymore. I
don't know what
left wing. He's all right. Right wing. I don't know what we're doing.
My main concern is also out of possession as well. So by trade, Despo is an attacking midfielder. We went to quite a few. You guys obviously went to more, but the few attacking MPL games that I went to, he was predominantly as a centre midfielder.
Correct.
He's not someone you'd want to be doing dog work out on the wing.
No.
And the chance that Kryev had, Despo was tucked in a little bit too much. That allowed space, I think, for Gersbach to then drive with the ball. There was a huge gap in between Shamoon and Kaltak.
Yeah.
Ball gets played through. I think Kryev was just onside, and then Matt Sutton saved it with his foot. But it was starting to come. And then 70th minute, you had Kaltak turning into the Brian Kaltak that we thought we were going to sign to begin with. And I thought he was superhuman in this game.
He was.
2 quick shots that he blocked from Ryan Fraser, and then Thurgate lifted it over the bar.
That was,
Shit miss. Kankar, he had a shot from outside the box that was saved. Lawal, when he had that shot from the corner that hit the crossbar, and you saw Sutton almost stand there, I thought, fuck, that was going to go in. And then Fraser, just before he scored.
Oh, that save by Suts.
Unbelievable save in the top corner. But again, passive defending, shit defending.
Awful.
And we talked about this with Craig Goodwin's goal that he scored against us.
You got to shut him down.
Got to shut him down. Don't give him the space.
Like, I know there's not much of a profile on him because he's only just gotten here, but anyone who knows at football knows Ryan Fraser is a bloody good
Premier League
footballer.
level winger, Championship level winger.
He's very, very
even in the
good.
post-match, Ryan, he praised Suts for the save.
Because it's a fucking brilliant save.
It was a really nice save.
And then for the goal, I wrote down, I surely was not the only one that felt it was the exact same kind of scenario as the Valupale goal that we considered.
Exact same.
Sleepy
Ball out
defending.
deep to the back, no one presses, shot through the crowd, and it bundles its way in.
So, and then...
I don't remember who it was, but I saw someone give shit to Sutton for that, saying, his body positioning is all wrong. When it goes through a crowd of like...
You can't save that shit.
It goes through a crowd of like 37 people, bro. Like, he doesn't see the ball until it hits his knee. Like,
what do you
do in that situation?
I genuinely think anyone who gives shit to Sutton for that goal is clearly just a Mark Beery.
He had a great performance.
Yeah,
he was
brilliant.
Brilliant. Him and Kaltak were the two.
Fantastic.
The fact we got him in a long-term deal is fantastic, by the way.
Good business, Stanley.
To know to have him as our keeper for the next few seasons at least is fantastic.
Love you, Stan.
So, are there any real thoughts on the Wanderers game? Because for me, it was
bloody boring is what it was.
It was boring.
I was really bored.
I'm so happy the Scorchers were at the same time, bro, because I had something to keep me at least distracted while I was waiting for something.
Yeah, I honestly was watching the Scorchers. I'd look down at my phone every few minutes to see what was going on,
and then
straight
Fraser.
back.
There was just no energy to the game.
This was a great opportunity for us to show that the Brisbane game was in ways an anomaly, and we learned our lessons, and we knew, okay, you've got to start fast, but importantly, kill the game. And we didn't do it at all.
Yeah.
We may as well open up the discussion towards Griff. Now, to just caveat, I'm not saying that from this discussion, the conclusion is sack him.
Of course not.
For anyone that's jumping the gun and thinking that is the case, no, that's not the angle.
Not.
As we sort of said at the beginning of the pod, we've established, he's done a very good job at raising the floor of the team so that it's not completely dog shit and it's competitive.
Mm-hmm.
But because he's on that contract until the end of the season, the club are going to have to make the decision not so much on intent, but based on what we're seeing and what are the trends suggesting.
Yeah.
So
my point still stands top 6.
That's it?
That's the bare minimum. Yeah.
That's the bare
Has to
minimum.
be.
Yeah. With this
I'm
squad,
not going to change from what I said earlier.
So-
That's what he has.
Yeah.
That's his quota.
So
It's his KPI.
This is what I was saying earlier and so we can talk about this later.
Yep.
I think his job is either given to him or taken from him in the next 4 weeks, personally, right?
Yeah.
And this is why, because most of our squad is back now.
I think it's pretty much a fully fit team.
Right. So
you'd think so at this point.
So in the next 4 weeks, assuming we can stay healthy, this is make or break, because you now have basically, the big issue we've been having is that we're trying to play a very wing play type of football where you kind of pass it out where I make those runs in behind, but we haven't got runners, right?
Yep.
Now we have runners. So you can't have the argument anymore of that, well, we got Pennington and Osler. If you then have JK in Wales or whatever competent
Collar,
whatever you want, you've got competent enough wingers to make it work. So the next 4 weeks, assuming that you get 4 weeks of what
I'd add
you want,
5. I'd make it 5.
Sure, 5. So let's say 5
Just
games.
quickly on those games, those 5 games. It's Auckland at home, MacArthur away, Jets at home, Adelaide away, Brisbane away.
Those are 5 competitors with us for top 6.
Yeah,
There's not a single game there that's an easy game, but there's not a single game there that I don't think we can win.
So back to your point.
Yeah, my point being is that his last excuse in terms of not having a fit squad is about to hopefully disappear, because we're about to have a fully fit 11 and a decent enough depth on the bench that he can make changes for wing play and midfield play and even striker play with Suleimani.
Some of the best depth in the league, I'd argue.
I would completely agree
100%.
when everyone's healthy, right? Especially if I don't know what's going on with Amos, but if he comes back, sure, I don't know. But in terms of whether or not he's the right man for the job, I'm not convinced, obviously. I still believe that he has raised the floor of what we expect. Because this time last season, we're not talking about can we make finals. It's about can we avoid the wooden spoon and can we not lose to Auckland 5-0.
Yeah.
That was the discussions last season.
Pretty much.
Now, it's can we go on a good winning streak the next 5 games and push for finals, which is a much better discussion. I'm much more happy to have that discussion.
Definitely.
But with the team you have, which in my opinion is at least in the top half in terms of squad depth and talent.
On paper, it should be good enough for finals, full stop.
Full stop.
100%.
Bare minimum finals, right? Is he the right man to then, like you said, raise the ceiling? I don't know yet, because he has given us some really nice wins, and we did discuss when he first came in that he was someone who seemed willing to adapt, right?
Yeah.
But the last few weeks, it seems that he's been a bit more stuck in his ways, formation-wise, tactics-wise. Like, he doesn't seem to be willing to change. I understand that could be because of the depth options. He doesn't want to change anything that doesn't need to be changed because he doesn't have the players he wants to work with.
Yeah.
But on that point, I really do think it's the next 5 weeks, because he's going to have everything he needs to do what he wants to do. So, yeah, I think the next 5 rounds.
Alex?
I think the best measurement of how Griffo is going to be as our future manager, like Will said, is the next 5 weeks, because all 5 of those games are teams that are either in top 4 or are challenging us currently for spots in the top 6, in and around that 5th, 6th position, right?
Yep.
My issue with Griff is that we've seen the club made a big mistake with David Zrilic, and I think that the big mistake they made was giving him the preseason and the first 2 games to then sack him.
The mistake was not letting him go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think they would make that same mistake again, which is why I also think they were only willing to give Griff that short-term contract till the end of the season.
They've learnt their lesson.
Exactly. Hopefully they've learned their lesson.
Stan.
I will say the Australian manager market is really weak right now. The
Yeah.
Aloisi brothers gone.
Monty gone.
Monty gone. The only option you really have left is Kisnorbo
Or Graham Arnold. And would that really be that appetizing to the Glory
No,
fan
but
base?
then again, I don't give it.
Wanderers.
Here's the thing: is I don't give a shit what's appetizing to the Glory fan base, because the Glory fan base is fucking stupid at times,
Oh,
right?
there you go.
But I will say, Graham Arnold is a great project manager. All right, I don't think Kisnorbo would work well at this club, because purely I feel like he's not the best project manager. I think he needs to be given the right facilities, the right players, and he can make something really good work out of it. However, I feel like Graham Arnold is a person that I would much rather give a project to and let him build it from the ground up around what he believes.
100%.
And he's experienced enough in Australian football to be able to do that. Like I said, I didn't like his tactics as the Socceroos manager, because
you wanted to see this more proactive.
Exactly. But the thing is, compared to the rest of Asia, the Socceroos are a top 4 nation, essentially, or in and around a top 4 nation.
But that's where they should be.
Exactly. But when you go up against countries like Oman and you aren't playing forward aggressive football.
Cheeky 1-0 own goal.
Exactly. Like you can't be getting away with that kind of shit. But what can't be denied is that Graham Arnold is one of the best A-League managers of all time purely because he is an incredible project manager.
He's a winner.
He's a serial winner, but someone who's also able and willing to sort of dig his hands in at all levels and pick it up.
He's also not been an A-League coach since 2018.
That's fine, but I don't think that I don't think that he's going to lose that sort of value because he's
gone to a higher level.
Exactly.
No, but in terms of navigating the environment, though, it is a different discussion.
Yeah, but back when he was here, we were Fox Sports, we were this, we were that. We had so much more money coming through.
We'll step away from Graham Arnold and back to Griffo.
Yeah.
My issue with Griffo is, and I think this is completely fair, I would have liked to have seen him experiment with formation, but I do understand that we haven't had our players and maybe he doesn't necessarily want to experiment until we've got our best players back, because what's the use of experimenting with a team that you know is not at full strength? That's absolutely fine. But my issue is that he's seemingly, I won't say frozen outright, but he's not selecting players that I think could provide very good value to this team for where we're at in terms of chasing games, in terms of holding on to leads. Right. And there's other situations where with his substitutes, I think he's done very well with picking, sticking with a starting 11 that clearly works for him, and that's completely fine. His substitutions at times have been brain dead. I don't get it. We go back to Brisbane last week when Diabreu was on a yellow card from the first half, and he took all that time to make a sub, and the sub he made was Bozanovsky. And we said, okay, well, maybe it's because he doesn't want to put Pennington in the midfield. But then 2 minutes later, Diabreu gets subbed off anyway, and Pennington was in the double pivot anyway.
Yeah, but Griff isn't that dumb. He'd have reasoning for it.
I'm not saying he's that dumb. I'm just saying that I would want an explanation from Griff as to some of these decisions he's making. Why is Amos not getting selected? Why is Lil Bib not getting selected? We haven't even got an update. Ever since Lockie Wales got injured, we haven't had one update from Griff as to when we can expect Lockie back. And that says to me that Griff doesn't really care when Lockie Wales is going to get back because he's not part of the plans. If you have a key player, and there's very obvious questions around when this key player is going to return, like Glory fans have for Wales because he is probably our best, if not one of our best wingers.
Has to be, yeah.
Exactly. We're always asking these questions, but we've not heard from Griff one definite answer. It just speaks to me that Griff really just does not care for Wales. He does not care for Labib. He does not care for Amos. There are several players here that don't fit his profile, and that's fine. This isn't a squad that he was able to tinker with in preseason. I understand if there's players that don't fit his style, but my issue is I can't pinpoint his style because there are players.
Do we know what is? Yeah, it's because
we don't know anything about Griffo as an A-League coach apart from what we've seen, and what we've seen is that he plays a really nice sort of forward-thinking style of wing transition.
Let's put it this way. So he said that he wants to be a proactive manager by him saying that he likes Sarri, Spalletti, Sampaoli, and Bielsa. So that by default means that you want to be a proactive coach.
Yes.
He said he wants to coach football that is entertaining and attacking, ideally, even though he was a centre-back in his playing day. So that's the aspirational idea for what he wants. But then what we're seeing is
completely different.
Yeah, it's a very pragmatic game model. And so, and a pragmatic game model that only works within certain conditions. So whether that's a product of him initially having to go with purely simple messaging, I could understand that initially. Now he's had a few months. Now we should be expecting to see, reasonably, given he's on a short-term deal, signs of a proactive game style.
100%.
I don't think we've seen that the past month.
But here's the thing.
Whether that's a fair sample size or not, I'm not sure. But
it honestly feels to me. It honestly feels to me like Griffo has been figured out by every single other A-League coach.
That's the problem.
And the issue, it honestly feels now that all other A-League coaches apart from Griff are in a group chat just saying, oh, how shit is this guy? This is how you beat him. It's this simple.
Play a low block.
Every single game we've lost has been against a low block. Two common factors: low block football and a 3-man midfield.
Third point, which was similar to the Western Sydney game and the Melbourne Victory game we lost away from home, was when we let the home team get momentum on the ball, chance, and then boom.
We can, but the thing is that the way teams beat us is two things, right? Like victory.
Yep.
But number one is they don't let us play transition football. So they attack, but they don't throw everyone forward, right? Because they know that what we want is to have two
They
or
don't
three
let us
players
impose
back.
our own game.
No, they don't. As long as they don't have only 2 or 3 players left at the back on an attack, then they know we're useless because we play transition only, it feels like.
Yep.
So if they have a 3-man midfield and they keep 2 back and have one and have one going up with the 2 fullbacks, you've then got a defensive mid with maybe 2 or 3 defenders at the back, and that's too many players to transition effectively on counter.
But I don't even think we've conceded that many goals from transition this season.
Because he doesn't send enough players forward.
Exactly, but my big issue as well is that he wants to play pragmatic, forward-thinking football, but he doesn't send players forward. There's no sort of creativity throughout our midfield. Sure, he wants to focus on ball winning, but there is genuinely nothing apart from the wide areas. And when you have all your best wingers out, what are you supposed to do?
Just quickly, to give Griff a bit of slack.
The
fact that he doesn't really have any 1v1 threat out wide, because we were making that point about So whenever the ball goes out wide, because our ball progression is quite predictable, you're not really expecting Pennington or Osler, for example, to be 1v1 threats when the game is literally evolving.
They are not 1v1s. That's fair, but when Griff comes out and says something like, I want my teams to win games while having majority of the possession, you can't say that and then also stick with this wing play thing that is not working clearly when you don't have the personnel. That is the perfect time to experiment. You're forcing Pennington to play out of position on the wing while also not picking Amos. You've got Timmins that wasn't really getting a run with starts. And look, he
is injured right now.
He is injured right now. So hopefully when he comes back, he'll be, better on form. But you have Freeney, Bosanovsky, Diabreu. You've got 6 really solid midfield options there. That's not even counting more attacking midfielders like Tom Lawrence and Despo. Why are you not at least attempting maybe a 3-man midfield or a 4-man midfield diamond?
When he took over our squad, he said, I'm playing a 4-4-2 formation because I feel like it's the best for our current squad and our players. But you'd think he's just sent Quar on loan and he doesn't rate Wales. So it's like, wouldn't you switch to like a 4-3-3?
Exactly.
I would have thought as well, like to kind of, because would we agree that when Glory are on the ball, we're quite static in our shape?
It's just side pass FC.
So why not?
We're playing midfielders as our wingers.
But not even that. Average positions of the fullbacks, for example, from the Wanderers game, Gersbach and Hammond were getting much higher up the pitch than Sam Sutton and Shabelle Shamoon were.
It's weird because in that Mariners game, we saw Shamoon almost playing inverted.
And we also know that Sam Sutton is primarily an attacking player.
Yeah, but then why? So I don't get why we stopped doing that all of a sudden.
Or why? And it's like, why not? Because it's like we're waiting for our fullbacks to come up rather than, your starting position, let's say for Sutton, because I think he's got a better athletic capacity than
He's got a lot of legs on that guy,
Why not push him higher up the pitch and look to rotate so that we're not so easy to play with?
Forcing Pennington to sit up on the left wing when he really shouldn't be. There's not
even any width because he's too far inside.
But you're essentially neutering Sam Sutton because he can't get forward. The moment we lose the ball, we have no one on his side to cover. Yeah. If you at least have a 3-man midfield, Sam can take up a higher starting position, and you at least have your single pivot there that's able to drop in and provide some cover. Sure, maybe it's not the best, but you can at least experiment by getting Sam higher up the field. We've been saying that he hasn't been getting great attacking output. Get him in situations where he can run in behind and put in those crosses like we know he can do so well like he was in preseason.
Josh, we'll get your point. You guys remember the shape that we had under Stadge when he was the coach?
Yes. Did you guys know this? That Graham Arnold has an official Instagram with over 100,000 followers?
No, things you learn every day. So there was, remember our shape under Stadge where it was, you'd have the 2 centre backs and you'd have a midfielder that would be there, and then you'd normally have G. Collie up, and then it just...
So it was a 10
everyone is forward. There's about 6 players on the last line.
Yeah.
I think we're better equipped to having a variation of that idea because you've got midfielders that in transition, whenever we lose the ball, can do a good enough job. But we're also, if we want to be a possession team, you've got to pin teams back. You've got to look to force them back. You've got to look for those wide overloads and have bodies in the box. I'm not sure if it's Griff. He doesn't want to send all our players forward all at once. He's too concerned about getting done on the break. But I think his press conferences coming up, stop the line gimmick, stop the rants or whatever, or the talking in riddles. Can you go into a little bit more depth about what you want to see stylistically? Because this is your audition to be the manager long term. And his press conference after the Wanderers game, do you know how long it went for? Minute and 30 seconds.
Bro.
Really?
Minute and 30 seconds. Now, to be fair, the journos weren't really asking many questions, but Griff was very short with his answers. that shit's got to stop for me. Because it's like when we're wanting to know more about you, as not just Griff the person, but Griff the coach. That we're wanting to see more from this team.
What went wrong here?
What went wrong? Be specific. Elaborate and give us more.
Why should I be bandwagoning for you to get the job next season?
Correct.
Yeah,
So
look, the line thing was funny for the first couple of weeks. I thought it was going to stop.
yeah,
Like, or maybe we have a variation of it. But then when it comes to losing games, now it's just like radio.
Dude, you've got to
get like a big win away from home against like a low block team. Oh, the Lion does not concern himself with the 5-back. Like, yeah, sure, funny, haha, but we're losing games here, Adam.
Josh, can I hear your thoughts?
Just like I said before, we're trying to play midfielders as our wingers, so it's just not working. That's why I feel like we'd benefit playing a 4-3-3, because then you could play like Franey. But then that's the problem. We've got so many midfielders. Yeah. It's just like, it's a bit of a headache. Obviously, that's what I was saying before. I don't think this is the ideal squad that Griffiths wanted. No. But then again, he sent out Kwa on loan and he's not playing Wales. Yeah. So I'm just like, what do you want?
I will say as well,
just as a final point.
James, I don't know if you and I talked about this on the podcast, but there's one particular free agent. If we were to go to a three-man midfield with a pivot, and we are looking for an Aussie pivot, there's one particular player coming off contract at the end of the season that I think could add some good value, and it's Costa Grozos. Yeah. He's been phenomenal for Newcastle. Can play as a 6, can play as an 8, can play as a fucking centre-back if you need him to. Great versatility, really good passing range, high energy player, good physicality.
But do you think
he'd be a great addition?
Is what we need?
If you are looking to transition to sort of a 3-man midfield, which I think would suit the team better, then absolutely. Because outside of him, you've got Brandon O'Neill, who has seemingly gone MIA.
Shadow realmed or whatever.
Callum Timmins, who I think can be a good option as a 6, as a makeshift 6, but I think his better value is as an 8, a more physical 8 when you need those more physical battlers against teams like the Wanderers who have Ugarkovic in the midfield, and you need to deal with those kinds of players.
Yeah.
If you need a sole 6, you have Costa Grozos there that you can realistically go for. But my issue is, can we even look at this squad and say, oh, well, I reckon we could go for this player? Because we have a $3 million hard cap coming in and Griff doesn't look willing to experiment.
Well, I think...
Well, yes, if we swapped out Pennington and played an actual, like, left-footed winger, I feel like you'd see a massive difference.
I don't think a left-footed winger would help because it would neuter Sam Sutton.
I think more of a 1v1 winger that can cut inside.
Lockheed Wales.
Or a fully fit.
He's better off the right.
You can do both.
A fully fit Kolakovsky.
I think
it's a great option.
Second striker, but
yeah, he's more of a second striker.
So we got to smash with the player ratings because we got a shitload of
smash your player ratings.
Fuck you as well. So crack. So here we go. By the way, Brian Kaltak, man of the match, 74% of the vote, was easily the best player of the day.
Big Vanuatu.
So, Matt Sutton, you guys gave him 6.9, we gave him a 6.3.
What? How?
What? Sorry?
How is that possible? Wait,
what? James.
What?
What did you
give him?
I
gave him a 7. What did you give him?
I gave him a 6.5.
No, you gave him a 4, Josh.
Matt Sutton?
You gave him a 4.
Wait, what?
No, he accidentally gave Sam Sutton a 7.5 and gave Matt Sutton a 4.
Right.
Wait, hold on, epic clip farm, ready? Josh, you gave Sutton a 4. No way. Oh, you're off your rocker.
So 7.5.
No. So Alex gave Alex.
My bad.
Yeah, that's all right.
I gave him a 7.
Yeah, that's fair. But
6, 7.
Yeah, shut up.
Okay, we'll just say 7.
Okay, let's just say 7. Shabel Shamoon, I thought he was particularly poor this game. I thought he got dribbled past more than any Glory player. Was losing his jewels, out of position a lot.
That's the case.
I know he can definitely be a lot better. There's no question about it. Yeah. But poor performance. You guys gave him a 4.6. We gave him a 3.9. Ow.
Deserved, honestly.
Ouch. Brian Kaltak.
I'm sorry. He had a really bad... I love Charbel. He's had some really good performances for us as of recent. This was his worst game in a Glory shirt by far.
Yeah.
It was
a shame.
He still wasn't the worst on the pitch, in my opinion.
Well,
that's debatable.
We'll get to it.
For me, he was.
Brian Kaltak, you guys gave him a 7.5. We gave him an 8.1.
Yeah.
Scott Wooden, you guys gave him a 5.9. We gave him a 6.4. Mm-hmm. Sam Sutton, obviously, because Josh got the... That's all right. So Sam Sutton, you guys gave him a 4.5. We gave him a 5.6.
I thought he did better than recent. Obviously, it's not the best.
But I'm still confused because the guy that we saw in preseason was unreal.
But this is a guy in preseason that had so much freedom to actually just get forward and make shit work.
You remember the corners he was swinging in though?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's not even on set pieces now.
No, that's what I'm saying. As in, like, but when he does do a set piece, it's poor. It doesn't even beat the first
it's
man.
not. It's
just like, what is happening?
It's a shame. He can be a really good player. Reece Bozanovsky, you guys gave him a 5.1. We gave him a 5.5. Mm-hmm. Gio Diabriou, you guys gave him a 4.7. We gave him a 5.1. Yeah. Nicholas Pennington, you guys gave him a 3.9. We gave him a 4.5.
He was poor.
Adam Taggart, you guys gave him a 4.5. We gave him a 4.5. Oh. Tom Lawrence, you guys gave him a 5.3. We gave him a 5.8. Yeah. Now, Will, fuck you. I gave Trent a 4, so you can't fight me on this one. Alex, you too as well.
No, I'm sorry. Trent Osler last week compared to Trent Osler this week.
Yeah, no. So you're telling me last week? No, stop. So last week's Trent Osler was as good as this week's.
You know what that is? You know what this is? It's like looking at MSN Neymar and saying, "Oh, he had one of the best primes of any Barcelona player," and then watching him get an injury for Santos and saying, "Oh, I thought you said he had a great prime." It's like, it's not his fucking prime anymore.
Fucking pleb. Okay, Trent, you guys gave him a 4.1. We gave him a 3.8.
Okay.
Who gave him lower than a 4?
No.
You gave him a 3, Josh. Ooh. I gave him a 4. Will gave him a 4. Yeah. Alex gave him a 4.
Okay, fine. He was pants that game, but I want to just go back a step.
Yep.
Because I felt like we skipped it over pretty quickly. What do you mean Lawrence got 5.8, 5.3?
A 5.3 from the viewers.
Yes.
And then 5.8 from us.
Yeah. But he was like a second best player.
Yeah, but we were shit.
He was like third or fourth.
Mate, he literally gave Taggart two, like.
No, I know, but I'd argue Matt Sutton and
Caltech were better. Matt Sutton and Caltech, I think.
And
so
he was like, Wooten was pretty good.
Wooten was also pretty good. So you third or fourth.
Despo, I would love to see him played more centrally. I think he's wasted out wide.
Which is why a 3-man midfield would be so much better, man.
Yeah, but that would just make too much sense. We'd be using our brain, wouldn't we, Will?
Oh, not back to this shit.
Yeah, so, unfortunately, the viewers gave Despo a 4.6. We gave him a 4.3.
Yeah.
Will Freeney, good to see him back in the team.
Good cameo, to be fair.
I thought it was solid. Well. You guys gave him a 5.2. We gave him a 5.4.
Yeah.
Return of the collar.
He was very good when he came.
I thought he was good.
He had a very good
I've seen this, and we need to boycott the fans, guys.
The fans gave him a 4.9.
Hey?
And we gave him a 5.6.
He was literally our most effective attacker.
He nearly got into that Lawrence, which is a great pass from Lawrence, by the way. It's a little bit more.
The vision from Lawrence.
A little bit earlier. Then he would have been a tap in.
JK, you guys gave also good to see him back as well.
Yes,
you guys gave him a 4.7. We gave him a 5.1.
He didn't really play him. He played about like 10 minutes.
Yeah, so then why?
I know, but I think as we've said before, I think our viewers just
review bombing. Yeah.
And then Adam Griffiths, this was pretty ugly. You guys gave him a 3.7. We gave him a 3.3.
Yeah, that's fair. He got out perfect.
And I hate to say it. I love Griff, but it's not for the first time.
No, but also this is Gary Van Egmond. This isn't just anyone.
But it's still.
This is Gary Van Egmond.
Yeah, but this is the line.
Newcastle Jets
legend. This is the line we're talking about.
Yeah. I will say this though, and I'm just saying purely from a football A-League fan, it is nice to have him back in the league.
It is good to see him.
I did miss Gary.
And as well, even if just to Griff, even if we beat Auckland next week, I want to see consistency. That's not going to instantly fix things.
Yeah. If we can make it more consistent, that'd be great. Now, Q&A. We did ask our viewers.
Wait, what? We got a Q&A now?
Because it's just episode 50.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, our viewers did spam, first of all, the Twitter.
By the way, can we just say, for the people at Instagram wondering why your comments did not get mentioned.
Oh, they're being mentioned. I've got them here.
Oh, you've got them here? Okay. You know what? Sure.
Yeah.
Do we want to start off with the Instagram comments?
Yes.
The first one I won't be reading because it's who's worse, a certain man on an island or Adam Kersey.
I think we know the answer to that.
Can't answer that for legal reasons.
We all know the answer. What if
67?
What if Perth Glory is secretly losing on purpose to test out the fans to see if they are loyal? Very funny, very original.
Yep.
I think the answer is just
no.
Okay.
Brain rot, Crescent.
It's brain rot. Yeah. Thank you, Francis. But I mean, to be fair, I think
exactly a question either.
No, it's just what if. It's just more of a statement. It's not really a question. If.
Okay.
See, no, I'm not done yet.
There's one more.
There's two more.
Shit. All right.
What's the % chance that this club is just a CIA test
67.
to see if it's possible to secretly and subtly make a large group of people go insane from long exposure to terrorism, football, and incompetent club management? To which I will say that's a much better, it's an actual question. I think the percentage chances, I agree with Josh, but I
agree with Josh as well.
I don't think obviously that's the case, obviously, because it's a joke, but I will say it wouldn't surprise me how many other owners of A-League clubs look at what we've been through the last 5 years and they're just laughing their asses off.
I think there's so many A-League.
No. I think the first few years people will be laughing at us, but now genuinely, I see everyone's like, I actually feel bad.
Yeah, now is more.
Now it's like,
you know what's crazy?
Stop now.
You know what's crazy is that I think in any other sporting code, you support the team from the city you're from, and everyone's like, even if they do shit, it's like, yeah, fair enough. Scorchers have a bad season. Oh, who's supporting the BBL? Oh, Scorchers. Oh, yeah, fair enough. You're from Perth. Yeah. The amount of people that I've heard say, oh, who do you support in the A-League? I say Glory, and they say, why? I support the Glory. I'm like, because they're from Perth. And obviously. Why?
There's one more. This is from All Things Perth Glory, that first one, the CIO was in. And he commented again and said, also, who has a better legacy, LeBron James or Michael Jordan? More of a question for Will. Thank you
Adam
for that.
Taggart,
shut
because
up.
he's the...
I'm going to shoot you.
I will answer this question because I really appreciate him understanding my love of basketball.
I'm cutting this out.
I shut up. I'll make it quick. I will say Michael Jordan, but that's only...
Cut it right there. All right, next question. Twitter.
Shut up. But you're making it longer by doing this.
Get on with it, Will.
But only because we haven't really seen what LeBron's legacy will be yet.
Yep.
And I just don't think you can beat 6 finals with no losses, whereas LeBron's gone 4 and 6.
Okay.
That's legacy. I'm not saying who's better. It's just
Done.
legacy. Done.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, All Things Perth Glory. I love you.
Gail, I'm not reading your comment. Go fuck yourself.
What?
Are the A-League's Perth Glory the worst professional team in any code anywhere in the world? Can anyone name a worst club minimum 20 years existence?
That's actually a good question. That's actually a good question.
I did debate this the other day. Well, yesterday.
So just the A-League Perth Glory in particular,
Yes.
the worst it might be up there, you know.
No, so my mate Anthony said his instant comparison was Essendon in the last 20 years.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah,
because they just haven't done anything.
But this is in the world.
I know. The other
Tottenham.
one... No, Tottenham just won
near.
Europa, so no. It was a good question. I think there was the New York Jets in the NFL.
Yeah.
Not very good either. There were a couple of things, but the fact that I actually just sit here and go, actually, I'm just obviously there is going to be, obviously.
Yeah.
But in terms of well-known off the top of our heads as sports people, it did take me a while to come up with a couple.
What? Oh, there's an English
Still
football
Tottenham.
club that's never won a trophy. Is it Watford, I think?
No, I don't know.
Which English football clubs never won a trophy in their entire existence?
I don't know.
There's a few.
Because you can't say the championship clubs are worse because they would win promotion to the Premier League.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's
we've
status in
We've
itself.
been at the top level of Australian football with no promotion relegation for over 20 years now, and we haven't won an A-League title.
We did win the league.
Yeah, but that's the league,
Yeah.
and we bottled the final at home.
Lachlan,
We made 2 grand finals.
what club do you boys think can win the league? Straight up, quick answer.
I would have said Auckland before 5 weeks ago. I genuinely... Okay, hear me out.
Victory.
You reckon the victory?
I think with...
Okay, hold on. Sorry.
Healthy.
Not win the finals, win the league.
Oh, the league.
The
Oh,
league.
Win the league, win the league.
Okay.
This might be a controversial
You're gonna
one.
say Jets?
I honestly reckon the Jets might be up there.
Yeah, I think they're sneaky. I was going to say them as well.
I would say the Jets, but I do think Auckland will turn it around.
I think Auckland
Josh?
will also turn it around.
I would love to see the Jets win, though. I can't lie.
Yeah,
I do love the Jets.
I think Auckland, to be honest.
Yes.
Win the league.
It's hard to go against them, really.
Yeah.
It is Auckland.
On paper, it is.
But if
Sydney.
Perth don't win anything,
paper,
I
it's
want
Sydney.
a Jets double would be cool.
I still get so pissed off at watching Newcastle and just how good they are when they attack. I'm like, I'd love to see that.
I'm sorry, but if
we're not going to beat them in a fortnight.
If we get beaten to if Newcastle, we've already had the Mariners, but if Newcastle also win an A-League finals before us, I'm going to lose my shit.
Oh,
I'm going to lose my shit.
5 weeks ago, I would have said Sydney, but
they're cooks, bro.
They're
They're
done. I'll tell us on Forward
just-
Watch big time. Jordan, have we seen the last of Luke Amos?
I wouldn't
Yes.
say the last
I would
of
say
him,
the
but
last
as a main player.
I think as a main
yes.
contributor, yes.
I personally, my bold prediction for the next 2 weeks is that we're going to get a mutual termination
Really?
I think we will.
I don't
if
think
he's
we
not
will
on the
purely
bench against Auckland, he's gone.
That raises suspicions if he's not on the bench.
I just don't think we're going
I
to see
think
him
it's already
again.
suspicious enough.
Yeah.
It's,
I think it's already
it's a little suspect, but I think if it's
Unless
not
he's
Auckland,
battling an injury, which you haven't heard about.
yeah.
Yeah, but he came back from injury, played 30 minutes, and then played 10 minutes the next week, and then we asked and then Griffiths got asked, how much is he capable of playing? He said, what he got.
Yeah.
He's just
Tom. He said, "Have you considered former or current coaches, staff interviews as maybe a separate additional podcast? Would the club even let you lol?"
We have considered doing interviews and stuff, not as a separate podcast, but sort of as an additional thing to what we do here.
But on the pod to bring it back.
We're looking to hopefully do that throughout the off season. So if there are any former players or staff that would love to come on the podcast.
There's one guy I'd love to have on the pod though. As a current staff member.
Let's do this. Yes. Everyone go around right now. Who is the one person you would love to have on the Glory Days pod in the off season?
Stan.
You would love to have Stan.
I'd love to have Stan.
I think he would come on too. I think he'd be down for it.
Stan. But to be fair, because I'll reference the chat that Alex and I had with Stan at the end of the Brisbane game.
Yeah.
We spoke for somewhere between 40 minutes to an hour. Yeah. I would say, roughly. It was a long time either way.
Got a lot to say.
I'd love to.
By the way, thanks to Stan again for that, because he's very generous with his time.
And it would be good for him to also explain things to the fans point blank and say, this is what's happening. Like, let's say if the hard cap gets implemented or if this or that happens, and that way people can understand some of the rationale behind, let's say with last season, why certain things happened
as they did. Yep.
And they weren't in
and I don't think it could be a bad thing because the whole thing is supposed to be communication.
Anyone else got...
I'd love to have Griff on the pod.
Griff?
Yeah.
I don't think you want to come off.
I don't think you want to.
Alex?
This is a bit out of left field pick, but Big Red. I would think it would be very fun if we could get Chris on.
Yeah.
I would love Kenny Lowe to come on.
That'd be funny.
I would love Kenny. I know he's aware that we exist, which is...
if you have a suggestion, put it in the comments and we'll see what we can do.
I will be hard committing to trying to get Kenny on this podcast for this season.
You'll be hard committing or you'll be hard committing?
I am going to commit a lot of my time to messaging him and trying to see if he wants to come on.
Kenny!
100%.
Right. Lachlan. If we finish bottom again with the squad, where to from here? Sack the coach, sack Stan, or just remove the club from the league altogether?
I don't think
I doubt we finish bottom. And now that I've said that, we're going to finish last.
Well, I don't think you can necessarily sack Stan because what has he done wrong this season?
Nothing.
The squad is bloated, yes, but he's managed to stay under the cap. We're going into next season in a favourable position because we've got some of our best players tied down on multi-year deals. We've got a very good young core. He's been very gracious with allowing these young players to come through. The ownership has now invested in the facilities, not massively, but
it's more than what it was.
It's more than what it was. Stan has set us up very nice, and I've said this on the podcast. In terms of if the hard cap goes through, the 3 million hard cap, we are one of the best set up sides in the league because you've got other sides like Sydney, like Melbourne, like the Wanderers. Like the Wanderers now having Ryan Fraser. They're not going to be able to afford these kinds of luxuries next season. Whereas we've got
still got another year on his deal.
Yeah, exactly. But we've got a very well balanced squad. A lot of senior players coming off of contract, yes, but they're players that you can negotiate transfers with. And if we lose any one of those players, I can say yes, it sucks. But it's you can play by ear.
We still don't know if it's official that the hard cap's going.
Yeah, because they've got the CBA agreement with the PFA.
If it does go in, after talks with Stan, I think it's pretty evident that the club all around is banking on the fact that it will go through. But if it does go through,
I don't think it will.
I don't think it will. But if it does go through, I honestly prefer if it would, just because I feel like we'll be better set up. But to answer the actual question, where to from here, if we do finish bottom again, like hypothetically,
I don't want to even entertain that discussion at this point because I don't know where to start.
I genuinely don't know what would happen because Griff would go, but I don't think we'd get in a good enough coach. No. I don't think we'd be able to revamp the squad. I don't think we'd be able to get about it.
I
don't think we will. It's a Q&A.
Lachlan, we're going to ask. Okay, here's a better question.
We sack Griff, and
mate, I can't even think like if that happens.
Who is our player of the season so far? Bozanovsky.
Either Bozanovsky or Matt Sutton. For me.
I was going to say Matt Sutton.
Still Lawrence.
Lawrence is definitely up there. Lawrence is 100%.
I just think we've been dealing with crap keepers. Like, no offense to any goalies that have, like, inexperienced, young.
If Lawrence was here for the first few games, I genuinely think we'd be in top 6 right now. But it's just because he hasn't been here the whole season.
Since the start, we'd be in top 6. Right?
I think we'd be more likely if he had a full preseason, just because I think he'd have more of a chance to experiment with the squad.
Yeah. and maybe implement a more coherent game model from back to front. Ethan, would it be worth trying the Amos Pennington double pivot? I'm going to say no.
Not those two.
Not now.
If you have a three-man midfield, I would love to see a three-man midfield including Amos Pennington and either one of Freeney or Bozanovsky. I think that could work, but it depends. There's not enough defensive solidarity.
Amos isn't a natural six. We don't really have a natural six.
If we're going to experiment with the three, I'm happy to go like Freeney, Bozza, and
I wouldn't say Diabreu, but I would honestly say you could chuck Timmins in there. I'd honestly say you could chuck Timmins as a six.
Experienced, I think.
I just personally think if we're going to do any kind of midfield pairing, Bozza and Freeney have to have.
They're our best.
Definitely.
Yeah. But to be fair, Bozza's attacking output has been getting better in the last few weeks, which is something I'm enjoying. You're seeing him carry the ball. Yeah. You're seeing him try these sort of like passes that he wasn't trying before, these switches of play, these deep sort of whip-in crosses. I'm enjoying actually seeing that. We haven't seen it as much from Will, which is all right because it's not necessarily
that's not his role.
But it is a tough conversation to have when you do have Amos and Pennington that have been sort of like not in that midfield as of recent. If you do want to switch to a three-man midfield, you kind of do have to put Cal Timmins as the six because he's the only player that can really play that role apart from Brandon O'Neill, who once again is MIA. If you are going to play Amos and Pennington in the midfield, it would have to be with Tim
Diabreu play the six?
I just don't think he's experienced enough. I think he dives in a lot too.
What about Gamulka?
Ryan, what was your best memory of Perth Glory? Or what is your best memory of Perth Glory?
I've got to dig in the back of my brain here. Hold on. You guys go first. Let me think.
I don't have it on the top of my head other than
I don't have any good memories.
Yeah, because it's all been shit.
I remember crying.
That's a good memory. It's a good start.
In a good way, when we beat, who was it, 1-0 to win the league?
Newcastle.
Newcastle.
Ivan Frangic goal.
Yeah,
remember that was a very good game.
Was it Newcastle or was it?
No, it was Newcastle.
It was Newcastle. Yeah. Frangic scored. Yeah, I remember that.
Round 25.
Yes, that was a really good memory. The United shootout.
Yeah, I'd say the United game, the Adelaide United game, the 3-3.
Yeah,
that's my best memory.
That's probably number one.
Yeah.
And then winning the Premier's Plate, not far behind.
Special shout out, just a core child memory for me. Danny De Silva's flicking spin wonder goal against the Mariners. Was it Mariners? Yeah. Yes. And then the next week or the week before, we belted the Phoenix 4-1 or 4-2.
You know what?
As well.
Sleeper pick for me.
Yeah.
The opening league game of the season after we lost the final to Brisbane. We played them at home. Was it Fremantle Oval?
Patterson's. So the old
Billy Mehmet, man, my God.
The old Subi Oval, and we got a win against Brisbane on the first day of the season.
That was
packed crowd, and they were
Barisha yellow card as well.
Yeah. Barisha,
fuck that guy.
That for me might be my best in-person experience as a Glory fan, just because I wasn't there for the Adelaide shootout. That is the one game that I seriously regret missing as a Glory fan.
Andy Keogh hat trick with the 3-2.
Oh, hold on.
The 3-2 win against Brisbane in his first home game.
Oh, yes.
That game, that was a fantastic game to watch. I remember being
and then there was the Perth victory 3-3 that same season as well.
Yes.
I think that just the best all-round vibes I've ever had as a Glory fan were just those days at Masso when we would turn up with a relatively shit squad agained teams that were on paper.
I probably lean more towards Kenny.
Kenny Low vibes would never be beat.
That's fair enough. Kenny Low vibes were great.
I know it's safe.
Kenny Low vibes were great. But a small crowd of 3,000, all in the temporary stands, going absolutely apeshit, watching the Glory scrape wins over the Wanderers.
Yeah,
that was.
There was a good question from
one of the best memories. Sorry,
this
is an honourable mention. It's nowhere near the top, but like
Jacob Dowles.
In recent years, my favourite game I've been to is the Sturridge debut. Because the atmosphere was so good.
Definitely because he's not a Liverpool fan.
Fornaroli, that goal in front of like a full
that was great.
house. That was great.
That
really
Puckle, when's Alex execution? I can't answer that, mate. For legal reasons. Make sure to come to the game against Auckland.
Oi, Puckle has it out for you.
He hates you, brother.
Puckle just wants you dead.
Stompy.
I don't blame him.
Congrats on 50 episodes.
Thanks, man.
I am conscious of time, by the way.
That's okay. Yeah, we got
8 minutes or so.
Hey, who cares? We can go over.
Congrats on 50 episodes. Personally, for you guys, what or who got you into supporting Glory initially?
Well, for me, I started playing like. Shout out to Nick Corrigan, Soccer Schools. I got put into that when I was like 4. Local Perth legend, that guy. I remember my first taste of glory football was from my granddad.
Yeah,
Me too.
Yeah, big Fulham fan. He'd moved over to Perth and had my which is now my dad, obviously. But he was a big Fulham guy, still is. He took me. No, he let me come over to his house every weekend to watch every game when I couldn't go, and then he started offering to take me to games. The first game I was supposed to go to was against the Phoenix in a final, which I think was that
11-12.
Yes.
Was that the one where Howard scored?
I think so. Yeah, I wasn't allowed to go because of the language that was the shed was using because I was so young.
You're not allowed to.
I know.
You fat bastard.
But then the next season, he convinced my dad to let me go to a few more games. And then that was my first game was against the Wanderers.
My first one was
and
Wanderers.
It was the Nick Ward equaliser 1-1.
My one was Jacopo La Rocca.
Right.
That one.
But yeah, that's what got me into it. So my granddad really pushed football, and then my dad followed suit. But yeah,
Alex,
that was for me.
First game.
I can't really remember what my first game was because I've been relatively like football mad since I was like 3 years old.
Yep.
So I've been going to games all my life. In terms of like my earliest memories, I remember there being a game against I think Brisbane where we were losing by like 3 goals. Okay, I don't know if I'm remembering this correctly. I remember there being a game that I went to with my dad and we were losing by like 3 goals and it's 85th minute and he says, "Let's go, we'll leave early, beat the traffic." I'm like, no, we won't go, we'll stay because we might come back, we might win.
I remember
He's
those.
like, no, you've got it. We're going to leave now and beat the traffic. We're not going to win. I'm like, no, you got to support your team till the end. He's like, we're leaving. So we leave. And then as I leave, I hear the crowd cheering. And I said, hear that? We've just scored. We'll go home and they would have won. And I go home and it turns out we lost 4-0. But
Wow.
I don't know if I'm remembering that correctly because it's such a core memory for me, but I don't know if I'm just blurring the lines a little bit.
Was this against the Phoenix?
I don't remember who it was against, but I just remember we were losing 3-0. We left. I heard the crowd
Are you
roar.
sure it was 3-0? Because I think I know what game you're talking about. I think I was there too with my dad.
Yeah.
And we ended up losing like 3-1 or something like that.
I don't know.
Like
I just
they scored
remember
like the 95th minute. and that was over.
Yeah.
I remember that game. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is that back when they had the scoreboards before the TV?
Yeah,
Yes,
it was.
yes,
It was.
I know
Okay,
the game.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a 3-1 defeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in terms of like core memories, I'd say, like I said, the game at Subi where we beat Brisbane was probably one
You
of
were
my
at that game?
Yeah.
Oh,
front row seat.
I didn't get to
Lucky
that one.
Front row seat right on the sideline as well, like right at halfway.
Billy Mehmet.
That was one of my favourite memories of the Glory fan.
My first ever Glory game was obviously my granddad being a Scouser. He was like, Robbie Fowler's making his debut. Let's go watch.
Yes.
So he took me to that.
Of course.
That
was before my time,
and
unfortunately.
then-
Would have loved to watch that.
James, you just didn't give us your
Yeah,
answer,
James, what
bro.
about you, mate?
Mine.
You robot. How'd you get into
All right,
into
next
Glory?
question.
Oh, because I started getting into football when I was about 2010, 11. I was a bit of I was shit at football to begin with, still am.
We saw the videos.
I know. Yeah. One day they'll come back out again.
How'd you lose to that guy, bro?
Inside joke. Yeah. No, it was for my birthday. Dad was like, because it was around about that period before when we got into the grand final and lost because of that cheat who went for a somersault in the box.
Yeah.
Not the first time we've had a dodgy game against Brisbane.
I hate Albania.
Right. And so they were like, Dad was like, it's your birthday coming up. Glory got a home game against Western Sydney. Do you want to go to that? And so we went to that round 18th of November.
lost.
That was the Jacopo La Rocca one.
Yeah.
And it was the one where Hersey got a red card. 30th
Yes, I
minute
remember watching that game on
kicking out
TV.
at Jamison. And it was
Yeah.
like, what, cheat fell over. So,
Yeah.
but that was my first. And then as soon as that game happened, mate,
Yeah.
I was a fucking sicko. Anytime there's an opportunity, Mum, give me the iPad. I'm watching that.
It took me a while to get into the Glory. Like, I was always much more into football before the Glory. Like, I think I have vivid memories. Like, my dad really got me into it straight up, like with the Socceroos.
Yeah.
He let me watch England and Socceroos. I'll get up in the mornings to watch the game, or really, like, he'd play the Euro highlights of 2012, I think it was, those highlights for England. Like, so football really started with my dad, but then my granddad so his exact words, my dad, basically is, he went and watched the Wollongong final. Where they choked the 3-0 lead.
Yep.
And he said from that point onwards, he just gave up at the Glory. He said, this is shit, I'm not doing this. And then my granddad really pushed it. But yeah, that was his.
And they won the year after.
Yeah, and then he given up of that. He's like, no, I'm not doing this.
I don't care. Leave me alone.
Yeah, basically.
Did you guys ever used to take advantage of like the because you obviously started playing a little later. I don't think you've ever played. Did you used to always go to like the 3-game passes at the start of the season where it's like you register your Football West thing and
I never did that.
Really? I would do that every single year because I would watch every single game on TV, but I'd rarely ever go to the games outside of those free tickets just because couldn't
couldn't afford it. Yeah. No, I never did that. I don't think. And
then it wasn't until I got a little bit older where I went to more of the games, because before my family were like, nah, fuck it, we're not going.
Yeah, no, that's exactly.
Just watch it on the TV.
Because also back then you have to remember those games were in 40-degree heat.
Yeah.
Before the A-League, it was like 2 p.m. kickoffs on a Saturday, and it was
crazy.
Up.
It was crazy.
Again, I am a little conscious of time. I don't want to.
Shut up, James.
Shut the fuck up, Will, to you too. So,
we
will preview Auckland.
Are we out of questions?
There's quite a few, but again, I'm just conscious of time.
No, we're not.
I am very conscious of time.
The beautiful people at home have been kind enough to send us questions.
We read them all 1-word answers.
Okay.
Right, let's go.
Are we rebuilding or just surviving?
Who's it from?
Daniel Fieldgate. Are we rebuilding or just surviving season to season? Do you trust the current ownership to actually take us forward? Why? Why not?
Okay, I think...
Short answer.
Yeah, are we rebuilding? Yes. Do I trust the ownership? Sort of. Do I trust Stan now that he's done a good job? Yes. Do I trust Ross to actually give a shit? No. Go.
Are we rebuilding? Yes. Do I trust the current ownership? I think they're learning on the job. So, sort of. Do I trust Stan? I'm warming up to him.
Are we rebuilding? Yeah. Do I trust Ross and Jason? I don't know. Be good.
Ross, yes. Jason, no.
Well, both of them, I'm indecisive, but I think there are good people at the club, and I think particularly Stan and Raz.
care. That's much as obvious.
So that's evident. So yeah, Josh.
Do I trust the ownership group? Yes and no.
Right, yeah, brilliant. Yeah, well, yeah.
Do I think?
What's the most unpopular glory take you've had that you still stand by?
Pennington left wing, apparently for Alex.
Don't stand by it, so it doesn't count.
Unpopular glory take that I still stand by. I wouldn't know.
I have one.
What?
And I will die by this. Kenny Lowe is the greatest thing that ever happened to this club. We were down in the pits. As a club, we were.
The greatest thing that ever happened to the club.
No, okay, that's obviously an exaggeration. But you have to remember what was happening. The salary cap scandal was a massive thing. We were losing players left, right, and centre. The whole thing was an absolute catastrophe.
Yeah.
Kenny made do with what he had, brought the fans in, brought exciting, passionate football, got behind everyone in the city, and really pushed us back to at least something that people wanted to do instead of being the national disgrace that we were.
I guess my worst take would be that Suleimani would have scored over tags that I made a couple episodes ago.
So you stand by that?
I sort of don't. 50-50.
Right, brilliant.
So
would you say it's a bad take, the Kenny Lowe take? Because I stand by that. I still think he's one of the best. He is one of the best things that ever happened to this club in our existence.
I'd agree with one of.
I would say,
do
we have a Perth Glory Hall of Fame? I don't think we do, right?
Not yet.
Not quite.
He would be in the first class for me. It'd be him, Castro, and Bernstanger, probably.
Not Bobby and Jamie Harmel.
Yeah,
probably
Bobby.
Bobby and Jamie. Yeah, if you could
Bobby
do
and Jamie,
do five, Kenny, Diego, Bobby, Jamie, and Bernstanger.
Yeah, no, I love Kenny, and I will die on that hill.
Most unpopular take that I stick by. I think Adriano Labib is the biggest missed opportunity in terms of a player.
That's not unpopular.
No, like the biggest missed opportunity as a player we've had in the last 5 years. I think. In terms of
Alex, what about Gio Collie? Right, next question. Jake, on the James, do you have one?
No, I just chat bullshit, so pretty much all my takes are unpopular.
Such as Osler rating 4. Do you stand by that?
Sorry, what?
The Osler 4 rating from last week?
Did I not say the bat signal was going to come out again for the 4 rating after the Western Sydney?
No, I'm talking about last week, James.
Yeah, I stand by it.
No, you don't.
I do.
This man went on an entire tangent after the episode going, oh, shit, I probably shouldn't have given him a 4.
Went to GYG, this man of Rican's life choices. Right, go, next question, come on.
Okay. If you were head of the APL, what are the first 3 changes you're making to the league? Ooh. I think that's quite a broad question. If it's just one change, let's just make it one change.
Well, I think salary cap needs to be altered because you're stopping a lot of the teams from
altered or abolished.
Abolished.
I'd say abolished.
I know it sounds stupid, but the Premier League did the same thing. It took them a few years to find their balance, but they have now, and there's a reason why they're one of the most, if not the most successful league in the world.
Yeah, it's
what needs to happen, right? You want to get investment, get rid of the salary cap.
I think we'd probably all agree to be blanket, get rid of the salary cap.
Yeah.
Or would you
abolish will fix itself. Relegation.
Add relegation and promotion as soon as possible and change the calendar dates.
And biggest one for me.
Yes,
biggest one for me. 100%. I would be on the daily twerking outside of Stan Sport headquarters to get a fucking TV deal.
Give me Stan.
Because it would all the talk we have about the league. No, I'm sorry. But all the talk we have about the league doesn't grow, the league doesn't have enough money. It would fix itself if we had it on the same channel that we have the Premier League, the Champions League, and the
I've been saying this for ages, but next week.
Last
James, you didn't say.
You agree, good boy.
Salary cap, TV deal,
twerking.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, no, but those are the three core things.
Where or who, this is the last question, where or who should be the next A-League club?
Western United will come back in before anyone else comes in.
Fuck them. Get rid of them.
No, it should be, not will be.
Not should. They will be, but should be is... Okay, I think if you're going to do 3 to make it...
Just do one, mate.
No, but... You can go between any of the 3 to make it a 16-team league or to bring
Hurry up.
Gold Coast. I'd say Gold Coast.
No. South Melbourne.
No, we don't need another Melbourne team.
Townsville.
This is why we need
North Queensland or Gold Coast.
This is why we need promotion relegation.
Valid.
Tasmania.
Extra team.
Tasmania.
If we did it before the AFL, which would have been the smart fucking thing to do.
Josh?
Fremantle.
Fremantle.
No.
Auckland preview.
Hi.
We're losing.
That is?
Okay, no, I think for Auckland, it's going to be obviously a really big
Jordan
challenge.
said we're going to get fiddled, so is that going to happen?
Thanks, Jordan. Mate, shut up. Like
you got fiddled.
Go back to Macca's William Street.
You got fiddled by the security at the
shoot. No, I think it's going to be a very tough game. Griff really needs to say, I'm going to be a manager now, not I'm going to
make or break,
be a lion, whatever.
Squeaky bum time.
Literally, like this is against a very good team, regardless of their form. We really, really, really need to get a win at home.
They'd be pissed off after dropping points.
Yeah, we're going to get it pissed off Auckland, right? So we need to capitalize on the fact that we're at home, that we have our wingers back.
Score prediction.
On that note, probably 2-1 or 3-1 Auckland.
I think we're going to lose, and on that note, I'm going to say Glory win at 2-1. Last minute goal from Steph Kolikovsky, takes off his pants and hits the 6-7 in front of the bay.
Yeah.
I think we could be in a bit of trouble this game. 2-0 Auckland.
Fair. Yeah. 2-1 Auckland.
Fair play.
Change out. Hey, I would love to prove it.
If we win 3-0, we'll be back
and
here.
all the players are going to go like this in the lounge after one bus or wherever. So, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that has been episode 50 of the Glory Days podcast, the half century. Thank you all so much for sticking with us throughout this time.
There will be a point where we do live episodes.
Yes,
I know people keep asking. That will happen one day.
That is something we're planning on doing in the future. Live reactions to away games. We're going to maybe even continue to do the fan Q&As, so you'll see more stuff on our socials if we do continue to do this. But thank you all so much for sticking by, and hopefully many more episodes to come.
I just want to clarify, back to my point about the extra A-League club. Would you not want to see, like, if we brought in Fremantle or Derby?
I would love it. I would love it, but the problem is it would only work if you go heavy WOG marketing. If you made it like Fremantle at Zuri and just marketed it to WOGs, it would work. If you don't do that, it doesn't work.
He said it twice.
No, I'm sorry, but
no,
I can say it.
I know you
can say it.
I know. It's just
I can say it.
I know.
If you just marketed it heavy to Italians, I think it would work. If you don't do it, I don't think it would work. But I think a south of the river team in Perth could work. So I reckon Fremantle might work.
Oh, cool.
Thank you all once again. Episode 50 done. We'll see you all after the Auckland game. Hopefully a good win, most likely a loss, and we'll come back depressed as always. Thank you all so much. And until the next episode, it is bye for now. Goodbye.